Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name's Aisha Rosalie and today I'm reacting to Pakistan standing up for Palestine. This video is of Shah Mahmood Qureshi, the Foreign Minister of Pakistan. He is having an interview on an American news channel and I haven't seen the video yet, but from what I understand the title, they're having a discussion about Palestine. As you already know, Pakistan and the Indian Muslims, they are standing up for Palestine a lot. I have seen you guys sharing and constantly posting things and sending stuff to me even and participating in every little bit of activism they can. Pakistan are standing up for Palestine so well, alhamdulillah, and the Indian Muslims as well. They're putting in the effort too. So I really wanted to share this with you to show how other countries are reacting to the situation. And as you probably already know as well, America, sadly, Joe Biden, who people say is a Zionist, who I saw the interview of him saying he's a Zionist as well, but are very pro-Israel, and America in general are just not doing the story justice. They're just not telling the truth. Let's see what the Pakistani foreign minister has to say. This video has a lot of views, so I'm very excited to watch it.
And the Pakistani foreign minister joins me now from New York. Mr. Minister, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a very busy day. From your end, do you hear any talks about a possible ceasefire coming anytime soon?
I am convinced the tide is turning. I am convinced the public pressure, the pressure of public opinion is mounting, and ceasefire is inevitable. Israel is losing out. They're losing the media war despite their connections. They are losing the media war. The tide is turning.
What are their connections?
Deep pockets.
What does that mean?
Well, they're very influential people. I mean, they control media.
I would call that an anti-Semitic remark.
Well, you see, the point is they have a lot of influence and they get a lot of coverage. Now, what has balanced that is the citizen journalist who has been reporting, sharing video clips, and that has jolted people. And that has woken up people. And people who are sitting on the fence are today speaking up. Do you see how in different capitals of the world, in London, in Madrid, in Michigan, Chicago, every place from Sydney to the European capitals, people have come out and saying, put an end to this insanity. They're calling for an immediate ceasefire. Now, the Security Council has failed in forging a joint statement and coming out with a joint statement and forging a consensus. The General Assembly today is giving a clear message to the Security Council. It is your prime responsibility to ensure peace and security. Please live up to the UN Charter.
But, Mr. Ambassador, can we not separate the fact that there are calls for peace and for equal human rights for both sides, for Palestinians and for Israelis, without anti-Semitic talk and rhetoric? And we are seeing an increase in anti-Semitism throughout the world. Many of these protests are showing signs and images of anti-Semitism as well. Shouldn't you be condemning that?
I will not justify any rocket attacks, and I cannot justify and I cannot condone the aerial bombardment that is taking place.
But what about anti-Semitism? And what about Hamas's role in stopping the rockets?
I am saying when you do not engage, when there are no negotiations, when there is occupation, when there's genocide, when there's war crime, when there's ethnic cleansing, then an extremist element takes advantage of that situation. Avoid it. How do you avoid it? You avoid it by pursuing a two-state solution, by adhering to the Security Council resolutions, respecting them, implementing them, fulfilling the promises that have been made and have been often broken. So I believe that the answer is Israelis and Palestinians living side by side in peace. And it can only be done through a two-state solution, through negotiations, by cessation of hostilities, and a ceasefire is the first step in that direction.
Does that include condemning anti-Semitism and condemning statements?
I am not justifying any of that.
You began this conversation. I am so sorry. There's so many things I want to talk to you about, but I personally am offended as a journalist. You began this conversation by saying that suggesting that Israel has, quote, close friends and powerful friends in the media. That is an anti-Semitic trope.
No. What I'm saying is the perception. Look at the perception the world has. You cannot ignore that, ma'am.
But that's a wrong perception.
Could be wrong, but that's the perception. Negate it.
Well,
negate it. By giving a balanced coverage, negate it.
The onus is not on those who are being accused of things that aren't true. It's on people like you in powerful positions to say that that's wrong.
Well, what we are saying, what is wrong, and I'm not shying away from that. What I'm saying is this insanity must come to an end. We must promote dialogue. We must sit and talk, and we must promote peace. Israelis and Palestinians, everybody has a right to live. They have a right to protect their children. Look at what's happening. 230 innocent people have been killed. More than 50,000 people have been displaced. 50 schools have been bombed. Hospitals have been targeted. Red Cross has been targeted. The AP office, media outlets have been targeted. And what they're saying is, okay, if you think there was Hamas presence there, why don't you have an independent investigation?
Well, I believe that Israel did provide in some information and shared intelligence with the U.S. But let's go back to the other side, because there are obviously Israeli casualties as well. And I keep bringing this up because if you're going to be an honest broker, then you have to approach something like this objectively. And that doesn't seem to be the place where you're coming from.
Well, I am objective, and I would want to be objective.
Wait, objective? American media is objective? She's objective when he talks about children and mothers dying and hospitals getting bombed and schools getting bombed, and she's completely just doesn't even care and just keeps talking about the same thing over and over again. That's objective. There's nothing objective about the way the American media have been. They've been completely one-sided, so much one-sided that even when celebrities come out who talk about the other side, who talk about the Palestinian side, they're getting silenced. They're getting called anti-Semitic. They're getting said that they're terrorists. They're called these names for supporting Palestinians. How's that an objective view? There's no objective view when it comes to this. There's no objective view when you say 200 Palestinians have died, but 3 Israelis have been killed. That's not the correct statistics, but I'm just saying, died and killed, that's not objective. You're saying that, these ones just happened to have died, but these ones were killed. This interview is absolute madness, but mashallah for the Pakistani foreign minister for standing up for what's right. I do not think he was anti-Semitic at all. I have heard people being anti-Semitic, and that is awful, and I hate it and I condemn it. I just wish that America would just take the blindfold from its eyes and just see, and just actually see what is happening. Because I feel like even watching her interview, we've got the Pakistani foreign minister who's constantly talking about peace. He's saying, I want to bring peace. We want peace. And all she's got is just thing in front of her eyes, and she's like, well, I don't think that's an objective view. I think you're being anti-Semitic. What is this madness? Well, mashallah to this brother for standing up for Palestine, standing up for the Palestinians. I really, really wish that we could help them, and I think we need to continue sharing, need to continue protesting, we need to continue doing our best by the Palestinians, because if we don't share the message, nobody else will. And the celebrities that are sharing the message are getting completely, they remove their messages within hours. Look at Paris Hilton and Mark Ruffalo. They removed their tweets within hours or within days of standing up for the Palestinians, because there's pressure, the insane amounts of pressure on them. May Allah remove the veils from these people's eyes. Ameen. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys again very soon.